Hi, welcome back to Mark and Cindy's Food Forest here in Lutz, Florida. And today we're going to get figgy with it, meaning we're going to take a look at figs. Now figs are a special kind of fruit, and we planted our first fig tree about 6 to 7 years ago, not knowing anything about figs. We had in a pot what we believe is a brown turkey fig, and we decided let's put it in the ground and see what it does. Well, that tree over here became huge, and as you can see, it produces a lot of figs, and it's a success. We've had good success with that. The only problem is that we do have problems fighting the squirrels for the figs. They do like figs a lot, so they often try to get to them. Figs are very special. They started out cultivating figs in the Middle East and over in Egypt. And from there it spread throughout the Mediterranean and into Greece to Crete, and then into Rome, and all out in that area. And it's a special fruit, and it was very coveted fruit. And now today figs are cultivated all over the globe, all around the world. There's about 700 varieties of fig trees that are known, roughly, in that area. But not all of those are edible. I know there's at least 150 varieties that are edible. Could be more, I'm not sure about that. But it's a very special fruit, and you don't find them too much in the grocery store. The reason for that is that they're very perishable. And you cannot pick a fig until it is ripe on the tree. If you pull it prematurely, you will not get the good flavor and the sweetness of it. So it's best to wait till it's ripe on the tree, and again you have to fight the squirrels to get them, but that's part of gardening. But once they're ripe, you pick them off the tree and they're ready to eat. So not before then. So anyway, figs here, we have these two varieties here, and this here is a brown turkey fig. We know that. This one here, we're not sure. You can look these up and actually see online and get a view of these and determine what they are. In our haste to plant all these fig trees, we put them in the ground, not paying attention to the varieties. Now, figs are not actually what you'd call an average fruit. They're basically an inverted flower, and they're from the mulberry family. And when you cut them open, there's actually hundreds of little, called like flowers in there, and that's the fruit that we eat. What we're looking at today are common figs, and common figs are basically a variety of figs that do not require pollination from other flowers. So these are self-pollinating figs. So you'll have to look that up online. What I suggest, if you decide to plant a fig tree, what you'll want to do is determine in your area where you live what's best suited. So I looked up here in Central Florida, and we do get some cold weather basically in the winter, sometimes close to freezing, a little bit below. And most of the figs that we planted here, I believe all of them, we have about 5 or 6 varieties here, and they actually all do well in the cold. Some of them do not, so make sure you choose and pick which variety is best suited for your area. Let's go ahead and take a look here at this here, and this is what I called, again, the brown turkey fig. Now, another thing about figs is that they're very unique, and they're overall the highest quality in mineral content of any fruit. They're high in fiber, potassium, calcium, magnesium, iron, and copper. These figs, or actually figs period, they help balance the body's pH level, and they actually help control blood pressure. So figs are a very good fruit. You typically find them, as I said earlier, dried fruit in the supermarkets and in bags zipped up. You don't find them fresh, again, because they do perish quickly. What we want to do here is take a look and taste these. This here is the brown turkey. This here has been pulled off when it was ripe. So let's go ahead and cut into that. And get a look at that. Get a look at the color. Focus in on that. Very beautiful. And all these things in here that are soft, the pulp, or whatever you want to call it, are basically all the flowers. I say the fig is an inverted flower. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and taste this, give you an idea of what it's like. very good. This is very good. Brown turkeys are not noted for being the sweetest of figs, but very delicious, very high quality food. Some people say it's the most nutritious or healthiest fruit on earth. And they do go back a long ways. In biblical times, they're mentioned in the Bible and other ancient writings. So we know, like in the book of Genesis, 6,000 years ago, it was mentioned, and mentioned often throughout the Bible. But brown turkey, they're very good, very easy to grow. Here we have another variety. I'm not sure what the variety is. Like I said, we didn't pay attention when we planted it. But you can look this up online and get an idea. Look at this. Look at the difference in the color. This one's a little bit different coloring. But we're glad we planted these here because these are very sweet. Huge difference. This is very sweet, a little bit sweeter than the brown turkey. Figs are a very good fruit. We enjoy them. As I said, it's rare to get them fresh. Why not plant them in your garden? Very delicious, very healthy for you. Also, talking about the figs, and you know, it's mentioned in the Bible numerous times. In the book of 2 Kings, King Hezekiah has an illness, and he only has 15 years to, actually he's ready to die, and the Lord gives him an additional 15 years to live. And in the story, in the account of Hezekiah's illness, Isaiah the prophet comes to him and tells him of the bad news, and then God grants him the other additional 15 years. But then Isaiah instructs to have a poultice of figs prepared and to put on the boil of King Hezekiah to help heal him, which it does. And that's placed on the boil, and it basically heals his boil. Figs have got to be a power-packed, nutritional fruit. And I think about all the things that we actually grow here in our food forest. It's probably one of the most enjoyable fruits that we enjoy. And I'd highly recommend that you try planting a couple. They're really low maintenance. What you do want to know is we feed our fig trees a 10-10-10 fertilizer. And the best time to prune your fig trees is mid to late winter. Now that's here in Central Florida, so you have to look up in your area what the winter is like. And what we typically do here is we make sure that there's no more freezes coming. Once we have a good forecast and we know there's no more freezes, then we go ahead and we prune the fig trees back. It's a vigorous pruning. A lot of it's all pruned back, dead branches, any crisscrossing branches. So you may want to look up online just to get some instructions on proper pruning for the fig tree. Again, we fertilize it in the spring with a 10-10-10, and the leaves all drop off in the wintertime, so nothing to be worried about. But the leaves come back in the springtime and come back very quickly, and we're very eager when we see the trees starting to grow again. We start seeing the little figs on there. So anyway, plant yourself some fig trees, give it a try. They're very easy to grow, just some good water, sun, needful sun, and a 10-10-10 fertilizer, and you should be good to go. Any questions, feel free to ask me on the video. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. And until then, keep growing and be blessed.